What's going on, fellow humans and resellers? It is I, James. ReadoptionAgency.com, 22 years, selling full-time on eBay. And here we go. I got a savior order this morning. I'm going to start calling my multiples savior orders. They used to be so great and change, I think that's probably the biggest thing that's missing from my store is just those bulk orders. Let's see. How's your Q4 going? It's just odd how it's like the same as last month and the month before. It's like weird. But for whatever reasons. But anyway, I'm in recovery mode right now, so you gotta forgive me if I seem a little bit off. I've been lying awake since like 4 o'clock. Got up at 7:30. No, actually it was 8. We're at 8:38 right now. It's just my sinus pressure kept waking me up. So every time I move, it would move with me. And it'd build up over here. If I laid over here, it'd build up over here. And just it was so bad that I had a hard time getting out of bed. I was like cold and sweating. I mean, the pain from the pressure was nauseating me, making me nauseous. So I actually did a sinus rinse this morning. I usually don't do those. I don't know. There's just something about putting water up in there and just. But you know what? At this point, I got to stop worrying about that and just maybe do one every night before I go to bed. So I did one this morning. Took my sinus meds, took some ibuprofen. So feeling a lot better than I did when I stepped out of bed, though. But anyway. So yesterday, somebody made a comment, and I responded to it, and I'm kind of curious. If you're one of the viewers and you seem like you have a lot of sales coming in, like you've been doing this for a while and everything seems kind of normal-ish to you, are you getting a lot of errors every day on the website? Because I'm wondering where's my ball at? Boink. My ball was tucked up in my sack. I'm wondering if that could dictate if there's different servers having different issues. Like if you've been on for a while and you're not really noticing much of a difference. And when I talk about problems, when you search, let's make it more broad some of the more common ones. If you use drafts, when you upload your items, when you're listing items, do you get sometimes system failures and it says it cannot list all of them and then you have to do it a second time? When you take offers, do you get a blank page saying it erred, please try again, or whatever it says? Then you have to go back and try again. So if you're having like normal-ish sales, are you getting all these different types of errors? Sometimes when you search, you get a blank screen with just a little writing up at the top. Just all those different weird, I'm talking this happens every day for me. Just about every day. There might be a day here or there that I don't see it, but maybe it could be a timing thing. I don't know. Or maybe there are days it doesn't happen. But literally almost every day something happens within one of those at least 3 issues. And then usually a few more, but I can't remember offhand right now. But because they may not be as common. But I'm curious. So yesterday, it started out real well. What I had, I don't remember now, but I said I should beat the following day by midday. Well, it just, pretty much after I was done recording the video, it basically just stopped. It only made it up to $522. So It's weird how I got that much. And I guess that's kind of uniform for some of the times last week or the week before, when I would get that big surge in the morning where I was almost hitting 250, or I was almost and or was hitting 250 by 10, and then it would just shut off for the rest of the day. So I was getting everything within a few hours. But at least I did beat the day before, thankfully. So $522, I at least got past my low end. And also another $70 on YouTube yesterday. So thank you guys for all the likes, subscribes, and all the interacting on the videos and what have you. So thank you guys. All the more padding I can get per day, the better I can sleep at night. So as I just continue to try to build and hope that when it all comes back, it comes flooding back in droves. But we're at $843 right now. I'm at $119. So let me see what my split was yesterday. 30 items sold, 9 organic, 21 promoted. This morning, 9 sold, 8 promoted, 1 organic. And 7 of them is 1 order. But there was last night a shutdown at Fear. And it was like at 10:53. At 10:53, my offer stopped and my sales stopped. And then, let's see. And technically, it hasn't really cut back on yet. 8:35, I did have 1 sold that was not an offer. So overnight, I had between 10:40 and 8, I had 3 sales, 3 orders. 1 was the 7-piece order, and 1 offer. And then at 8:35, an actual sale came in. So still another, kind of huge shutdown overnight for me. And somebody suggested maybe scheduling my listings to go up in the middle of the night. Try that. And I don't know, I may do that. Try that today. And then set them up for overnight and see if that changes anything tomorrow. I'm almost afraid to do it because I'm afraid they're just going to get lost and then nobody's ever going to see them. Because there has been times in the past where when you, on certain days or times you list during the day or that day, it feels like your items are not being seen at all. Because normally when I list 100 items, 50 to 100 to 200 items a day, usually I'll get 1 or 2 sales immediately of that stuff I list. So some days when I list and just nothing, it's just kind of odd. So, but I'm not the only one who's ever said that. Hey, we got, and that was an actual sale, not just a paid for offer. So there's another sale. Nice. Little, but that's all right. So I don't know. I'm just, more in the headspace that if this is always going to be the norm, even after they're done with the website, just trying to figure out a method to the madness, I still think there's a lot more hindering, everything when it comes to the search and how goofed up it is, to the constant errors I get every day. They've got to be affecting something, other things on the site. And like the offer issue, there's been offer issues. I think I don't even know how many weeks now consistently, 12 plus. Where before in the past 2 years, it's been off and on, intermittent. But for the past 2 months, it's been pretty straightforward every day that there's an offer issue. So whatever they're doing, I just wish they would hurry up and get it completed, you know, so we can at least then get a true feel and read on how the website is going to be. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to, like I've said a million times before, it's hard to come up with a solid answer when variables are constantly changing. So, all right, let's see if we got any questions and comments. So if you haven't noticed, mainly because of the eBay issues, I've changed. I kind of put my other YouTube channels to the side right now, and just putting everything up on this channel for financial reasons, just to have more padding in the day, because those channels are not monetized yet. I was building them, so just going to push that aside for now. I was hoping, originally I could have that buffer to grow those during fourth quarter, because sales would be rushing in. But since they're not, I'm just like, it makes sense just to. But there'll still be a schedule. This video's the same time, Monday through Friday, and then whatever else the rest of the day and weekends. I had 0 sales on Tuesday, first 0 day in a long while. Saying. Next one. I am so sick of being given only 160 results. Yeah, that's another thing on eBay. Like, it doesn't happen all the time, but there'll be days where it'll only give me 160 results no matter what I search and how I search it. But then other days, the search is the total opposite, where it's giving me a million things that have nothing to do with anything I'm looking for, So I typed in record store day 2023. And of the 11,000 listings, no matter how I sliced it, 160 results. In fact, I typed in something else, putting in quotes, and got 52 copies of a book I didn't even look for. Sellers need to know why their buyers are going elsewhere. eBay discourages lowest price searches because they are jerks. And that's why I said it's hard to get a read on how sales are going to be with the new eBay if things are still so messed up. You can't say this is the way it's going to be if it changes every day. At least I hope not. Glad to see a box from your storage unit. Would love for you to say approximately what you are listing each hat for. As you look at it, I think I heard you say you were listing them most at $19.99, but maybe I am remembering wrong. Most are $14.99. And then normally, if it's like a big dollar hat, you'll see the reaction in me, and you'll know that I'm probably going to price it higher, or at least comp it before I price it. I think the one yesterday, the only one that went up higher was the Rams hat for $20. And then I didn't comp the Nike panel hat because it looked like a normal runner hat. Normally, like the super panel hats, the ones that stand out, I usually comp. This one just looks so much like a running cap, I just went ahead and listed it, and it sold immediately. So I'm like, I probably missed something. And then I think somebody said something here. Oh yeah, Fart Sack Jack. There's a 5-panel Nike. Some of those are big money. And that didn't even clue on me when I was looking at it. I just thought runner hat, because those always sell pretty quick too. So I should have looked it up. Nice box of hats, James. Good take on the CEO bonus structure. I worked for a corporation big box store, and the district managers and store managers got bonuses for cutting back store hours of employees. Results of that were things stopped getting done, and what did get done was done carelessly. The store may not have had made sales, but at least they got their bonuses. Yeah, because they cut costs, so they were technically making more profit, even if the sales went down. So that's how they're. You got to watch those bonus structures, or you got to know what you're doing. If you're trying to get a good deal. I mean, a good thing to look into is like how, sorry, that spraying in my nose is my nose all itchy. Like I like looking and finding out information on like sports people and like all the different things that they can sign into their contract to get, whether that's you get X amount more money if you make the playoffs, to just all different kinds of. So I love the whole contract, world on what you can get. And one thing I learned early on also by watching TV, watch like Bar Rescue and American Pickers and stuff like that. One thing that I picked up on watching them is the stars of the show are always executive producers. So when I noticed that, I'm like, well, why exactly is that? Is that so they can have input on the show? Yes, but mostly because they get paid to be an executive producer also. So it's like a second paycheck for being on the show. So I learned that. And so when I was always trying to pitch ideas for a show, I always knew that at least one thing is make sure I'm the executive producer and an executive producer of the show also, because that just means more money. And then plus you do kind of got a little bit of say over yourself if you don't like the way something's you're being portrayed or somebody else is being portrayed or whatever. So personally, I don't think eBay planned on doing all the site maintenance at this point. I think they started all the AI stuff months ago. Thought it would be up and running in a few weeks. They would be able to catch a bunch of employees and show better Q3 and Q4. I don't know, because normally when you make changes like this big, there's planning that goes into it. So if they did make a spur of the moment type of thing, and that wasn't a very intelligent move, if that was the case, So that's why I don't think they're that silly, but we know I'm not always right. And then plus everything takes more time than normally planned for, whether you're doing a kitchen remodel or building a website, especially when you're trying to redo a structure that was built in 1995, so. But it's taking way more time than expected, and they are having to dump more resources. Yeah, I 100% believe that no matter what the plan was, or if there was one, is definitely taking more time than they probably thought. Because, like, you heard stories about some of the programmers quitting just because they're just done with it. They're frustrated with it. So. That right there was always like kind of a telling tale to me that they bit off more than they could chew, type of thing. But I'm just giving an opinion and not telling anyone what they should think. Nothing wrong with working in a cubicle and reselling. Never said it was. I just said if you don't have an open mind, maybe running a reselling business is not for you and you should go work in a cubicle. Because then you don't have to have an open mind. You could just be like, do my work. Maybe we should all get burner phones and start complaining about not being able to shop because of search. As far as combining shipping for international, maybe work with the buyer to create custom listings for them with everything they want in the listing. Well, the problem is getting the customers to realize you will discount bulk. That's the problem. They just automatically think and assume they're going to pay that full price for every one. If they would just add it to cart and add another one, they would see they wouldn't, so. Maybe I should just put that in my description. Great bulk discounted rates, add to cart to see price. I might do something like that. See if that helps. You know, but not many people look at descriptions anymore, but at least maybe somebody would and see it and might, even if I get one for every 10,000, that's still one more. So maybe I'll add that in there, because everything I sell, you get combined shipping if you order more than one. And with media, in the US, you get free shipping if you buy more than one. So I'm really enjoying your videos. I heard you mention before that you do reviews of stores. Now, I was doing and I haven't done any this week, just going through what solds on people's stores, which I fell behind on that. So I got to get back into a rhythm, if you will. My eBay works fine all the time. Do you only get on once a week? Glamour bunnies. That was hilarious. Yeah, and from that thing everybody's talking about yesterday, I did a little bit more digging yesterday, the bad buyer experience, and everything that I was pulling up has nothing to do with US. It's all international. And then, like I kind of said in the video last night, if it is eventually gets implied to the US, it's going to be for those that are for exports, not from US to US. So yeah, it all appears to be nothing that we have anything to do with. So a lot of bigger resellers seem to have jumped the gun, and that's why I jumped the gun, because I put trust in other YouTubers who, I thought was more diligent with their research, I guess. And I skipped doing mine because of that. And I should not have done that. I should have looked into it like I did after I made the video. Should have did that before. Because even the eBay people, even more than the one I just dug into, anybody who was associated with eBay I saw too was saying that it's outside the US. So 99.9% sure. Never 100, because you never know. Let's ship these items and see my savior. Chili. I got chili blocked. Damn it. That's a $20 hat too. Nothing ever makes it to Chile anymore. France. Australia. Well, it's nice to see at least 3 international. Remove all 3 of those. How did Chile get through, though? All right, we got BB and CC Winan Christmas cassette. Sold for $7, headed to North Carolina. Why are you keeping these broken ones, dude? Turn on, please. Thank you. That's what I was doing wrong. You gotta ask politely. Alright. To ground. Darvarius. should say Davarius. There's only one R in there. Next up, we've got Von Moore, 45, headed to Brooklyn, New York, sold for $840. Whew, starting to feel better, so that's good. I don't have sick days. I have to be able not to get out of bed before I have a sick day. Thankfully, that hasn't happened in about 2 years. 3 years now. I think February of 2020 was the last time I was really sick. And I think that was COVID. Before COVID was known. Or right before the COVID was really announced. I was really sick. Which I always thought was probably COVID. After the fact. Jeffrey. That's the one beauty about working for yourself at home. Because, like, being sick is one thing, right? Interacting with people, you can get sick that way. And then also, too, if you don't like your job, you can make yourself sick just thinking about, I don't want to go to work today. So when you work for yourself, it's like, and from home, your health is a lot better. We got a Cardinals t-shirt here, kids t-shirt. Sold for $10.50, headed to Warsaw, Illinois. Here's my favorite. One of these. Stay. Now if I can just get this sinus thing under control, it'd be fine, so. Or I'll be a lot better, I should say. Debbie. Again, another Debbie. So I think maybe I'll do a sinus rinse every night now. 'Cause I'm tired of feeling like crap from the sinus pressure. Ambrosia, 180 cassette, sold for $7, headed to Kylie, Texas. Texas. That's only 2? Wow. Is that right? Normally cassettes are over 2 and I have to put in 3. Wow. WIS. Maybe gravity ain't as powerful today. Do you ever think that? Like, what if gravity is pushing down and some days gravity's lighter and it makes you just feel a little bit lighter instead of gravity pulling from the center of the earth? Oh, I had a thought yesterday. What was it? Oh, what was it? Because I thought it was pretty good, too. Now I forgot it, and I didn't write it down. Oh, it's about the brain and the mind. Like, I was going to look up the word mind and see exactly what mind is in a human. Because I was sitting there thinking yesterday, I'm like, okay, like I said, my mind goes everywhere during the day. So the brain has unlimited potential. right? So your brain is like, helps grow your mind. So when you start off in life, your mind is blank, and or it has fillings from a past life, if there is a thing. And I only say that because you see little kids who sometimes see things that are not there and whatever. So that's just a theory thing in my head. But they start out blank. So you use your brain over your lifetime to fill your mind with thoughts, ideas, knowledge. And if that, where is the mind in your brain? Is your mind an actual place in the brain, or is it something in a cloud, if you will? So when you leave this body, everything you've experienced on this planet that the brain allowed you to accumulate into your mind, then your mind is this ball of energy in a cloud, if you will. So when you leave this body, you still have your mind. I didn't get too much into the thought. That thought just popped in my head. I'm like, first thing I need to do is find out the definition of a mind and see if there is an actual spot in the brain that scientists consider is the mind, if you will. So that was the road I was going to go down yesterday. So I got to remember to check that today. Next up, we've got, are you ready for a cassette line? Yeah. These things have been in and out of my store for before, when I used to sell on Amazon, because that's how I marked my Amazon. Like when I sold on eBay and Amazon, 1 was eBay, 2 was Amazon, 3 was like Waggle Pop at the time or something, I think, or 3 was half.com, that eBay site, something. But anyway, so I used to use a price gun and I'd mark it 1, 2, or, there'd be a various, it could say if it was on Amazon, I know there'd be a 1 there. If it was on, or eBay, if it was on Amazon, there'd be a 2 there. So it could be on both. So I would know to take it down off the other site when it sells. Like, I mean, anywhere you look on my shelf, you're going to see items with that price sticker on them. Here's a 1 and a 2. So that was on eBay and Amazon at the time. So yeah. So these have been in and out of my store forever. And so I came in and bought all 7. Headed to Huntington Park, California, and altogether sold for $68.50. So biggity bam. I wonder if this is the same person who would buy all those other ones for me in a lot, because he'd give them to his customers. I don't remember the address or the name, so I don't know. Don't do that. Thank you. Oops. I probably should change my way of thinking. When I think of weird things like that, I'm sure there are other people who have thought of it. 8x6x4. But, like, I don't like tarnishing my ideas with somebody else's, because I don't want it to interfere with where my mind could take a thing, just in case it would take it someplace different. But in return, I know that if I read somebody else's thought, it could probably advance my thought and take me even further. So I think that I need to start changing my thought process and look into other people's theories and ideas when I think of something like that, to help push me ahead with my ideas instead of thinking that those might hold me back from my own original ideas and thoughts. Is that weird? Alrighty. Even if it is, that's all right. Weird is good. If you don't think Elon Musk is weird, if you don't think Albert Einstein was weird, anybody who has, I guess, a lot of thought processes are weird, so I'm probably just not weird enough. That's probably the ticket. If I was a little bit more weird, I'd probably be smarter. Good old country 8-track. That one's tore up. So. Headed to Virginia, sold for $10. What else weird? Like the hats I sold, they're all going international. There's no US hats. That's odd. That is odd, I must say. Odd it is. Odd it is. Very peculiar. So that could be a change I make for 2024, is put in my descriptions. I can figure out the perfect wording for it though. Great bulk rates for multiple orders. Add to cart to see pricing. Something of that nature. Try to simplify it as simple as possible so people don't go, what's he trying to say? Maybe I'll just put add to cart to see the great multiple rates, multiple item rates. So I gotta figure it out. I'll put add to cart first though, I think. Add to cart to see blah blah blah. Various. Generation Clash. Onward to pirate ship. First up, going to France. We got GFI Beyond Copies. Baseball cap. I sold for $10. Also, too, I kind of like, the more I read about that bad buyer experience thing, the more I liked it on how it was being used for people selling internationally. So that includes like all those China shops that you see 1 million, 2 million, 15 million items on eBay from in one store. Like, it keeps them in check, as well as any like drop shippers from outside the country. So any of those big sellers like that who are more about the quick buck as opposed to the customer service, it could eventually come back to haunt them. So it could eventually wipe out some of these big Chinese stores we see on eBay US. Because from what I understand, it's on the US site basically for the people who sell from outside the US. So technically it is in the US, but it's not to do with anybody in the US. From the way I understood it, the more I read about it. Okay, that was $10. And you want a code for hat. I think the ones that it will hurt too right off the bat would be the equivalent to like Declutter. There's some international ones, Music Magpie maybe it's called, who sell internationally but on the US, because they're one of the big companies that don't really care about the customer service. It's more about the volume. So it may affect one of them right off the bat. We've got going to Chile. So basically this is probably going to be a refund, and I'm going to lose the merchandise and the money. We got a Mickey Mouse Walt Disney Vintage Painter's Cap hat, sold for $20. I'll be very surprised if this don't turn into a, where's my item? It's gone, it's not here. Well, Chile usually takes 30 to 60 days to get there, so please wait. Then they'll open a thing. eBay will say it was never delivered, won't give it 30 days, and I'll have to refund them. Then they'll get the hat eventually, and they have their money back. The last time I had that happen before, I blocked South America. The person I got in touch with eBay, this was obviously been a few years. They were understanding and said, yeah, we're going to wait this out. And I know that it takes 30 to 60 days for an item to be delivered down there. So they were like helpful in that way, where I don't remember the outcome eventually, but those were the days when if you called into eBay, you got somebody who knew at least a little something that was going on and understood and did something to help you, was compassionate. Next up, Illinois Outdoor News. Yeah. Stuff I love, you know that. All of you are going, what's that? Or probably at least 99.9% of you. Going to Australia, sold for $13.50. From the amount of hours I got on yesterday's YouTube watches, today may be my first $100 day on YouTube. Because the last 2 days were 70 and the hours watched surpassed those 2 days. yesterday. So today may be my first $100 day ever on YouTube. So again, thank you guys. That's pretty freaking cool. Concentrating on all the positives. All the positives. And you guys are a big positive, so it's a big positive. Generation Clash. All right, so that was, let's see, 3 internationals this morning, 2 yesterday. Is that the one I just printed up or no? No, okay. It just popped up pretty quick. I'm like, oh. Generation Clash. Generation. Alright, that is all for now. I'm sure I'll probably see you all in a later video. I do got the washing machine people coming today to replace some parts. But, alright, thanks everybody, and I will see you all in the next video. I think that's all. See where we're at. At $924, $141. So there we go. All right, later.